Ottawans in Austria and Germany, and kind of just how that all came about.
Actually, I was living in Orlando at the time. It was after I left the World Wrestling Federation, and one of Bret Hart's brothers, Ross Hart, actually got me booked with Otto in a single shot. And he brought me over, and I wrestled against their champion at the time, Rambo. And Otto decided he wanted to bring me back for the entire season, and they flew me back over, and I worked for them through the Austria dates in Graz and Vienna, as well as Hanover, Germany, and Bremen, Germany.
So, what was it like to work, to go from working in America, where you've always worked and everything, and going to a country and kind of doing that loop? I mean, was it different, or was it the same kind of thing, or?
It was completely different, actually, because in the States at the time, we would do a loop where you could wrestle pretty much the same match every night if you were feeling lazy. But over there, you would stay in the same building, in the same town for 30 or 40 days straight, and you had to change up your game a lot each night and get very creative.
Was it more hard-hitting than the American style, or was it, wrestling's the same no matter where you do it or who you do it with?
I think you could say it was more of a grappling style over there and chain wrestling type wrestling over there. But of course, us American guys, we were doing whatever we wanted to do. We did the same thing we always did. Bounced around. The ring was a little hard, but it was okay. But I was over there. The year I was there, PCO was there. He was wrestling as Pierre. And let me see, a guy named Rasta the Voodoo Man, and some guy from Australia. They called him Mark the Hunter. They had a lot of characters. Fit Finley was there. Robbie Brooksides was there. So it was a fun place to work. We always had fun, and guys were always willing to try new things and get very creative.
Did you enjoy that kind of that atmosphere of being on a bus and kind of everyone staying together for that whole season? Or do you prefer kind of like taking your own shot, like, going here one day, going there one day, or did you enjoy that camaraderie of being around with everyone, going from town to town?
It was definitely different than the States. In the States, like you said, we would wrestle in loops and get our rental cars and go to make each town and do our own thing. But over there, we were like a community, almost like gypsies. We all lived like around the building. A lot of folks lived in trailers out there, and some of us would live in hotels sometimes, but mainly we were all together out around the building, living in a little community together. So it was definitely fun, and you got to know everybody really well.
Were there any particular people that you happened to work with during that time period that you felt fortunate with working with, or was everyone just, top notch?
I got to work with Fit Finley a few times, because that was back during the time he went to WCW the first time. I got to work with Terry Funk. They brought him in, and I wrestled him as the champion for Otto. Otto made me his champion that year as well. Let me see. I got to wrestle with this guy, Cannonball Grizzly, who used to be PN News and WCW. He's a hell of a wrestler, man. We had a blast. So, yeah, there was a lot of guys I felt very fortunate to wrestle against.
And real quick, I want to kind of go into, you have such an awesome Facebook. Such an awesome social media feed, stories and everything like that. So I want to, not ask you too many questions because I want people to go to your Facebook and see the stuff themselves, but kind of talk about how you've kind of changed your life through the trials and tribulations that you've gone through, and you're clean and sober, and what that means to you, because a lot of people listening to this may be struggling with their own things or their own demons that they may have, and here you're someone that has really and honestly come out on the other side. I mean, you physically look better than you might have looked, in 1995, 1996. Yeah, I mean, so you've really and honestly changed your life, and what does that mean to you? If you can kind of just elaborate on that.
It was in 2013 it all came to a head. I was on drugs and had a lot of different problems, and I ended up getting arrested, and I came to the realization that I really had to make an effort to change, and it was change everything, not just drugs. It was get in better physical health, work harder at being successful, and kind of open up. And like I had closed myself off from the fans and stuff. And after all of that happened, I kind of branched out and started talking to fans again. And that's why the social media kind of started taking off, because I kind of reestablished a relationship with the wrestling fans through stories and other types of things that we do. So, yeah, it was very important to me to kind of just change everything at that point. And that's what I did, because I could have very easily been one of the many, many statistics in wrestling, one of the many, many guys that didn't make it. So I'm very fortunate in that respect.
And did you think that you would, come back to wrestling? I mean, in 2013, when you were going through everything you were going through, and then when after the arrest and after the sobering moment of saying, hey, I need to change, I need to make different life choices, did you think wrestling will still be there for me, or did you think, oh, this is it, I need to walk away from this? And because, not only are you sitting here with me about to do this autograph signing, but last year you had a number of matches as well, in 2017 and 2018. I'm sorry, 2018, 2019. You had a number of matches as well. Did you know that this was something that was going to kind of blow up again when you decided, hey, I'm going to put myself out there, or is it kind of surprising?
Well, it certainly was very surprising because of the fact that at my lowest point, I never thought I would be involved in wrestling again, because for a long time I was very bitter towards the wrestling business in general. I felt like I had been done wrong, but part of me getting clean and sober and changing everything also meant me changing my attitude and my outlook. And one of the big ways I did that was to come to the realization that a lot of the things that happened to me in and out of the wrestling business were my own doing. And as soon as I started to take responsibility for that, then things started to change. And like I said, my relationship with the fans changed, and I started getting back into the business, which I never thought I would do in a million years.
So let's kind of talk about your return to the inside the ring, because I saw I have a friend who runs a show in Chattanooga, and he promoted that you were going to be there, and this is the first time that I'd seen your picture in years. And so the minute I saw him post that, I immediately jumped in his inbox and I said, do you have Duke's contact information? And he said, hit him up on Facebook, shoot him a message in Messenger. So I shot you a message. We worked out a deal to be in Georgia. And at the exact same time, once I promoted that you were going to be part of WrestleTopia, Ox Harley hit me up and he said, hey, is there any way Duke would want to get in the ring? And I said, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what he can and can't do. I don't know what he'd be interested in doing. And at first, you weren't interested in getting in the ring, right? You didn't think that you'd be able to do it. And then he worked the deal out with you, and lo and behold, Taking Out the Trash 2018 happened. So kind of talk about how you decided, hey, I can still do this.
Well, another thing that happened back in 2013 with the arrest and all the other problems I was having is I had to have my left foot amputated. So in that respect, I never thought I would wrestle in the ring again. But as I moved forward in my recovery and got clean and sober and got physically healthy and got in the gym and started working out, I started to realize that I could move around quite a bit better than I thought I would be able to. So because of that, I started taking some wrestling bookings. Now, I will say, though, last year, at the end of last year, I had an issue with the leg where, mainly because of wrestling, kind of got an infection, and I had to have surgery, which I'm still dealing with now. So I don't know if I will get in the ring again. That is kind of up in the air. But as far as physically and being able to do the moves, I was able to do quite a bit.
Go ahead, man.
We're going to wrap this up, sir.
I got that.
Oh, okay.
You got it.
No. So, I appreciate it, man. Kind of talk about being that match, that first time that you got back in the ring and you actually worked with someone. Was it the match with Ox? Was that your first match back in the ring? It was you and Ox versus Jeremiah Plunkett and Big Bad John in MSWA in Knoxville.
I don't think that was my first actual match back. I think I might have wrestled in McMinnville first. because I was getting in a ring with somebody there and practicing. They had a ring for practice. But yeah, I wrestled in McMinnville. I wrestled for Ox in I can't remember where it is right now. But I also wrestled in Pikeville quite a bit, which is kind of where the issue happened, where I realized my leg was kind of getting beat up too much. But yeah, I've wrestled in a few places, and it was definitely interesting. It was definitely interesting. It was different. Like, I had to be very wary of the prosthetic foot because I tripped. I got stuck in the stairs one time, going up the stairs. I got stuck. So I had to be very careful, and then going out of the ring, falling out of the ring and stuff like that. I just had to be very, very wary of the titanium foot I was wearing. So.
And do you prefer Rocco Gibraltar or Duke the Dumpster Droese? Which one do you prefer personally?
There's a special place in my heart for the garbage man Rocco Gibraltar, because that's where the gimmick originated down in Miami, Florida. It was that name and the garbage man gimmick. That's where it all started. Duke the Dumpster was fun, and that's where the fans that know me now mainly knew me from, was my days in the World Wrestling Federation as Duke the Dumpster Droese. But like I said, Rocco Gibraltar will always have a very special place in my heart.
Well, you were always one of my favorites, legitimately, not just because I'm working with you, but 1995, I would have been 14 years old, and I loved the characters of wrestling, and I always thought, like, man, I'd look at you and it's like, man, you're a big dude, like, you don't look like my garbage man, like at my house, So I appreciate you being here with us today, and if you wouldn't mind kind of throwing out your social media so people that may not already be following you have that opportunity to follow you.
On social media, my private Facebook page is Mike Droese, and I have a Duke the Dumpster fan page as well on Facebook. My Instagram is Duke the Dumpster Official, and my Twitter is Real Duke Droese.
Thank you very much. I appreciate everything, Duke.
Thank you.
Sweet, man. Thank you.